Ever sold a gun and instantly regretted it? Yeah, it's always a revolver. These classic wheel guns have a way of haunting us long after we've cashed the check. Whether it's the craftsmanship, the history, or just that perfect click of the cylinder, once they're gone, we realize what we've lost. That old revolver gathering dust in your safe? It's probably worth triple what you paid. Let's count down the most regretted revolver sales ever. Starting our countdown at number 10, it's the iconic snub nose classic, the Smith & Wesson Model 36. Number 10. Smith & Wesson Model 36. This little J-frame powerhouse has been the go-to concealed carry revolver since 1950, and for good reason. Chambered in .38 Special with a 5-shot cylinder, the Model 36 perfected the balance between size and stopping power that countless carry revolvers have tried to match ever since. What makes the Model 36 so special? It's the original Chief's Special, the revolver that defined an entire category of defensive firearms. With its 2-inch barrel and compact frame, it disappears under clothing while still delivering reliable performance when you need it most. The smooth action and crisp trigger make it a joy to shoot, whether you're practicing at the range or carrying it for protection. Pros: perfect concealed carry size, proven reliability for over 70 years. Smooth, crisp trigger action, strong collector demand, timeless design that never goes out of style. Cons: only 5-shot capacity, snappy recoil with +P loads, limited sight radius, expensive to replace with quality examples. At number 9, we have the revolver that's caused more sellers remorse than any other, the legendary Colt Python. Number 9. Colt Python. This .357 Magnum masterpiece was hand-fitted at the factory and represented the absolute pinnacle of American revolver craftsmanship. When Colt discontinued the Python in 2005, prices immediately started climbing, and they haven't stopped since. The Python's reputation for accuracy is legendary. With its 6-inch barrel and adjustable target sights, this revolver could outshoot most rifles at reasonable distances. The trigger was so smooth it felt like breaking glass, and the timing was so precise you could literally hear the quality in every cylinder rotation. Colt's royal blue finish gave it a mirror-like shine that made every other revolver look dull by comparison. What really sets the Python apart is the attention to detail. Every surface was hand-polished, every part was precisely fitted, and every gun was test-fired before leaving the factory. This wasn't just a revolver, it was functional art. Hollywood recognized this too, making the Python the go-to wheel gun for countless movies and TV shows. If you sold a Python thinking you could always buy another one later, you learned the expensive lesson about the collector market. Pros: unmatched accuracy and precision, hand-fitted quality throughout, iconic status and recognition, incredible collector value, smooth glass-like trigger. Cons: extremely expensive to replace, requires careful maintenance, heavy for extended carry, delicate timing can be costly to repair. Coming in at number 8, the Ruger Security 6 proves that sometimes the most regretted sales are the guns we took for granted. Number 8. Ruger Security 6. This .357 Magnum workhorse was built like a tank and priced like a utility gun, which meant a lot of people sold them without realizing what they were giving up. Now, with Ruger having discontinued the line decades ago, these solid performers are gaining serious collector interest. The Security 6 was everything a service revolver should be: reliable, durable, and accurate enough for any reasonable task. Police departments across the country issued these to their officers, and they served faithfully for decades. The transfer bar safety system was ahead of its time, and the solid frame construction meant these guns could handle a steady diet of full-power 3.57 loads without complaint. What made the Security 6 special wasn't flashiness, it was competence. While other manufacturers were cutting corners or adding unnecessary features, Ruger focused on building a revolver that would work every time you pulled the trigger. The fixed sights were robust, the grips were comfortable, and the finish held up to real-world use better than most. Pros: built like a tank, extremely durable, excellent value for the quality, smooth, reliable action, growing collector interest, perfect duty gun design. Cons: fixed sights limit versatility, heavier than modern alternatives, discontinued parts availability, plain appearance lacks flash. At number 7, the Smith & Wesson Model 19 represents one of the most perfect law enforcement revolvers ever made.
Number 7. Smith & Wesson Model 19.
This 3.57 Magnum K-frame was specifically designed for police use, combining the power of Magnum ammunition with the smaller, more manageable frame size that officers preferred. When you sold your Model 19, you sold a piece of American law enforcement history. The Model 19 was born from a collaboration between Smith & Wesson and legendary lawman Bill Jordan. Jordan wanted a revolver that could handle 3.57 Magnum loads, but wouldn't be too large for daily carry. The result was the Combat Magnum, a 6-shot revolver that became the standard-issue sidearm for countless police departments across the country. What made the Model 19 special was its perfect balance. The K-frame was just the right size, not too big like the N-frame, not too small like the J-frame. With a 4-inch barrel, it offered excellent accuracy while remaining fast on the draw. The adjustable rear sight allowed for precise shooting, and the smooth action made it reliable under stress. Pros: perfect size for duty carry, excellent accuracy potential, rich law enforcement heritage, strong collector demand, proven combat reliability. Cons: K-frame can be stressed by constant Magnum use. Adjustable sights can be delicate, requires regular maintenance, expensive to replace quality examples. At number 6, we have the Colt Detective Special, the snub nose that defined an entire generation of detective work.
Number 6. Colt Detective Special.
This .38 Special revolver was the go-to concealed carry gun for plainclothes officers, private investigators, and anyone who needed serious firepower in a compact package. If you sold your Detective Special, you sold a piece of film noir history. The Detective Special was Colt's answer to the concealed carry market. With its 2-inch barrel and 6-shot cylinder, it offered one more round than the competing Smith & Wesson J-frames while maintaining excellent concealability. The smooth, rounded profile made it ideal for pocket carry, and the reliable Colt action meant it would work when you needed it most. What really set the Detective Special apart was its character. This wasn't just a utilitarian tool, it was a revolver with personality. The Colt blue finish, the distinctive grip shape, and the solid feel in your hand made it something special. Hollywood recognized this too, making the Detective Special the weapon of choice for countless detectives, both real and fictional. The quality of construction was typical Colt, solid, reliable, and built to last. These revolvers were designed to be carried a lot and shot when necessary. The timing was precise, the trigger was smooth, and the overall fit and finish was exactly what you'd expect from Hartford's finest. Pros: 6-shot capacity and compact size, excellent concealability, classic Colt quality and character, strong collector interest, proven reliability. Cons: limited to .38 Special only, discontinued with parts becoming scarce, requires careful maintenance, expensive to replace. Moving up to number 5, we have the Smith & Wesson Model 29, the revolver that Dirty Harry made famous and that countless gun owners have regretted selling.
Number 5. Smith & Wesson Model 29.
This .44 Magnum powerhouse was already a legend before Clint Eastwood ever uttered the words, "most powerful handgun in the world." But Hollywood fame pushed it into the stratosphere of desirability. The Model 29 was Smith & Wesson's answer to hunters and shooters who wanted maximum power in a handgun. Built on the massive end frame, this revolver was designed from the ground up to handle the .44 Magnum cartridge. With its 6.5-inch barrel and adjustable sights, it was capable of taking down big game at distances that would challenge many rifles. What made the Model 29 special wasn't just power, it was precision. Despite launching 240-grain bullets at over 1,400 feet per second, the Model 29 was surprisingly accurate. The heavy frame absorbed recoil well, and the excellent trigger allowed for precise shot placement. For handgun hunters, this was the holy grail. Pros: maximum handgun power, excellent accuracy potential, iconic cultural status, strong collector demand, built to last generations. Cons: heavy recoil limits, shootability, expensive to feed, large size limits carry options, premium prices for quality examples. At number 4, we have the revolver that won the West, the Colt Single Action Army.
Number 4. Colt Single Action Army.
This .45 Colt legend has been in continuous production since 1873, making it one of the longest-running firearm designs in history. If you sold a pre-war SAA, you sold a piece of American frontier history that you'll never be able to replace at anything close to what you got for it. The Single Action Army, also known as the Peacemaker, was the revolver that tamed the American frontier. From cavalry officers to cowboys, from lawmen to outlaws, everyone who was anyone carried a Colt SAA. The smooth, fast action and powerful .45 Colt cartridge made it the perfect companion for life on the frontier. Pros: iconic American frontier heritage, timeless, proven design, lightning-fast action potential, incredible collector value, built to last forever. Cons: single action only limits versatility, slow to reload, expensive ammunition, premium prices for quality examples. At number 3, we have the Wesson Model 15, the revolver that proved innovation could improve on perfection.
Number 3. Wesson Model 15.
This .357 Magnum featured an interchangeable barrel system that allowed shooters to have multiple barrel lengths in one gun. When Wesson went out of business, these versatile revolvers became the stuff of legend among those who knew their quality. The Wesson Model 15 was built around a simple but brilliant concept. Why own multiple revolvers when you could have one that adapted to any situation? The patented barrel system allowed you to switch from a 2.5-inch snub nose to an 8-inch target barrel in minutes. Each barrel came with its own front sight, and the system was so precise that accuracy was maintained across all lengths. What really set Wesson apart was the quality of construction. These revolvers were built to incredibly tight tolerances, with hand-fitted parts and careful attention to detail. The result was accuracy that rivaled custom guns at production gun prices. Many competitive shooters discovered that a Wesson with a heavy barrel could outshoot revolvers costing twice as much. If you sold a Wesson Model 15 with multiple barrels, you sold something that simply cannot be replaced. The combination of versatility, accuracy, and quality made these revolvers truly special, and their scarcity has only increased their desirability among those who know what they're missing. Pros: interchangeable barrel system, exceptional accuracy potential, versatile for multiple uses, unique engineering and design, strong collector following. Cons: complex system requires careful maintenance, discontinued with limited parts availability, heavy with longer barrels, expensive to find complete sets. At number 2, we have the Smith & Wesson Model 27, the revolver that started the Magnum Revolution and the gun that many consider the finest production revolver ever made.
Number 2. Smith & Wesson Model 27.
This .357 Magnum was hand-fitted at the factory and represented the absolute pinnacle of Smith & Wesson's craftsmanship. If you sold a Model 27, especially a pre-war example, you sold firearms royalty. The Model 27 was born from a collaboration between Smith & Wesson and legendary shooter Elmer Keith. Keith wanted a revolver that could handle his hot-loaded .38 special cartridges, and S&W responded by creating the .357 Magnum cartridge and the revolver to shoot it. The result was a gun that would change handgunning forever. What made the Model 27 special was the level of craftsmanship. Every gun was hand-fitted and individually tested. The deep blue finish was hand-polished to a mirror shine, and every surface was perfectly finished. The trigger was glass smooth, the timing was perfect, and the accuracy was legendary. This wasn't just a revolver, it was a work of art. Pros, hand-fitted, custom quality construction started the Magnum revolution, incredible accuracy potential, museum quality finish and craftsmanship, serious collector investment. Cons: extremely expensive to replace, heavy for extended carry, requires careful maintenance, ammunition can be expensive. Finally, taking the #1 spot on our list, it's the ultimate never-sell revolver, the pre-1980 Colt Python.
Number 1. Colt Python, pre-1980.
While we mentioned the Python earlier, the early examples deserve special recognition as the most regretted revolver sales of all time. These hand-fitted masterpieces represent the absolute pinnacle of American revolver craftsmanship, and their current values reflect that status. The early Pythons were built during Colt's golden age, when skilled craftsmen took pride in their work and no expense was spared in pursuit of perfection. Each revolver was individually hand-fitted, with parts selected and adjusted to create the smoothest action possible. The royal blue finish was applied in multiple coats and hand-polished to a mirror shine that made every other revolver look dull by comparison. What set the early Python apart was the attention to detail. The forcing cone was hand-polished, the timing was set to perfection, and the trigger was adjusted until it broke like glass. Every surface was perfectly finished, and the overall quality was simply breathtaking. These weren't just revolvers, they were functional works of art. Pros, hand-fitted, museum-quality craftsmanship, legendary accuracy potential, iconic status among collectors, incredible investment value, represents the pinnacle of American revolver making. Cons: astronomical replacement cost, requires expert maintenance, delicate timing, can be expensive to repair, too valuable to use as intended. If you've ever sold a revolver and kicked yourself later, you're not alone. These classics hold their value in ways most guns can't, emotionally, historically, and financially. They're pieces of American history you can actually hold. The craftsmanship in these revolvers. It's gone forever. When you sell one, you're not just selling a gun, you're selling artistry that can't be replaced. Tell us in the comments which revolver you'll never sell, and hit subscribe for more content that keeps our hands full and our hearts attached.